Here are some of the fascinating coins featured at the recent Heritage US Small Cents Showcase auction. Let's start with a classic variety from the wheat cent series, the 1944 D over S over mint mark variety coin. The scarcer of the two over mint mark varieties widely known for this issue. In this case, the initial S was punched in directly towards the north of the final D mint mark. You can still see the top curl and full rounding of that S peeking out from behind and to the top of the D of the mint mark. This is a beautiful full red example of the coin, graded by PCGS as MS64 red, that saw a closing price at auction of $900. The 1963D double die obverse Lincoln cent is somewhat underappreciated in my opinion, although it is not exactly hard to understand why. To be fair, there are a fair number of them available on the market at any time, and the price isn't exactly something you're going to retire off of. It is a nice variety coin though, with the 3 of the date clearly doubled towards the south. This example just so happens to be the pop 1 for the issue at this grade of MS66 red, which saw it secure an unusually high price for the issue at $1,020 at auction. As its first year of issue, the 1909 penny receives a lot of discussion, most of it though centering around the VDB controversy. The San Francisco Mint, however, also offers a fascinating repunched mint mark variety, where the initial S mint mark was struck in a horizontal orientation. In other words, the S was lying on its side instead of standing upright, something that is unusual and very rare, with only a handful of examples known where something like this occurred. This coin is slabbed by PCGS with a grade of MS65 red, and at auction it sold for $1,320. The 1943 penny is already legendary as the only given year in which the Lincoln cent was intentionally struck from zinc-coated steel, a fascinating and deserving story within itself. But it also makes for fertile hunting grounds for the variety collector. Case in point is the repunched mint mark from the Denver Mint, where the D mint mark is very boldly restruck, with the initial impression still clearly seen towards the southwest, much to the delight of many a comic book fan who might recognize a passing resemblance to the calling card of a certain Daredevil character. Graded as MS66, this example hit the bullseye head-on with a final price of $1,860. The 1922 No D Lincoln cent is one of those fabled coins within the pantheon of US numismatics that has practically woven itself into the everyday lexicon of especially the Lincoln cent collector. The now missing but intended D mint mark removed from the very coinage die itself used to strike the coins at the US Mint, through a veritable connivance of circumstance that came together to create this unique variety coin that could arguably not have occurred in any other year. The current example, graded as XF40 by PCGS, achieved a closing price at auction of $2,640. The 1966 double die Opfer's Indian head cent may not be the most dramatic, eye-catching variety around at first glance, although it is one of the more interesting ones to be sure. Apart from the obvious, which in this case would be the doubling on the latter half of the word liberty on the headdress, there is also a misplaced digit 1 in the date. The remnant of the base of that digit can still be seen entangled within Liberty's pearls. The current beautiful example of this coin stands in front of us with a grade of MS65 red-brown, and by the time it fell under the auctioneer's gavel had sold for the price of $3,120. Hardly any discussion of small cents that includes the Indian head penny would be complete without at least a mention of the 1877 cent. It holds the second lowest mintage for the entire series, with only the 1909 S coin beating it out in that department, at a total of no more than 825,500 coins. The example seen here is an AU55 graded coin from NGC, and at auction it attained $3,240. The 1873 double-die obverse cent is considered by many to be the top double-die variety coin in the Indian head series as a whole, and frankly, it's hard to argue otherwise. The doubling on this coin is present on virtually all of the central design elements of the coin. The doubled liberty that can easily be seen within the headdress is undoubtedly the hallmark of this coin. In fact, it is oftentimes simply referred to as the 1873 doubled liberty for that reason, although the eye and several other elements are also nicely doubled upon closer inspection. The current coin is graded by PCGS as AU55 with the eagle's eye seal and CAC approval of the grade to boot. It sold at auction for $3,480. The undisputed king of the Lincoln cent variety coins, though, at least in terms of overall popularity, now graces us with its presence. The 1955 double-die obverse Lincoln cent hardly requires any introduction, with its bold doubling that makes it stand out from the crowd. This coin is likely responsible for converting more than its fair share of collectors into variety coin collecting, myself admittedly not excluded from that count, as the siren song of that famously doubled date was simply far too enticing to resist. This example is housed in an NGC slab with a grade of MS63 brown, and by auction close, it had changed hands for the sum of $4,560. The 1917 Denver Mint penny is hardly what you would call a rare coin, with well in excess of 55 million coins produced. Even today, more than 100 years later, they are still relatively easy to find. But if you are a fan of toned coins, then you are going to love this 1917 D cent. It displays radial rainbow toning on both the obverse and reverse of the coin, forming a halo of iridescent multicolored splendor near the rim, and then slowly spanning inwards to a nice golden coppery red original mint luster tone in the very center of the coin. Graded as MS65 red brown by PCGS, this coin saw a closing price at auction of $6,900. Our final entrant from the Indian head cent series is this 1867 over 67 repunched date variety coin. Not only is this already a semi-key date for the issue, but it is basically a variety that you could spot with the naked eye on top of that as well, making it very popular coin indeed. Simply look towards the top of the 6 and the 7 on the date, and it should be immediately clear that the first striking was slightly to the north of the final impression. This coin was graded by PCGS as a fantastical MS65 red-brown, and at auction it was able to secure $7,200. And then, let's wrap things up with a Flying Eagle cent, the Snow 1 1858 over 7 large letters coin, one of the first overdates for the new small cent series. On this coin, the flag of the upper right corner of a 7 can be found towards the northeast of the final number 8 in the date. In addition to this, there is also a small triangular die bump that can be seen above the first 8 of the date, about halfway between the date itself and the eagle's breast feathers. This key variety for the Flying Eagle scent series is always a very popular and sought-after type, and at auction, this 1858/7 coin was sold in a PCGS slab with the grade of MS62 for the price of $11,400. Subscribe to WNN and activate all notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.